Nigeria is endowed with abundant natural resources ranging from solid minerals, crude oil, gold, tin, iron ore, niobium, lead, zinc, limestone, salt, and many to arable land with varieties of agricultural produce such as palm oil, cocoa, groundnuts, beans, melon, corn, rice, among others. Nigeria's economy hub before the advent of oil in commercial quantity was agriculture. But with the emergence of oil, focus shifted from being agricultural dependent country to crude oil dependent nation. Since the era of oil boom in the 1970s, Nigeria has been a victim of monolithic economy and since then has been enjoying crude crash without adequately evolving a sound policy that would put the nation's economy on a firm foundation for steady growth. Today, oil revenue accounts for almost 90% of the nation's gross export revenue, leaving a paltry 10% to other commodities such as agricultural produce and solid minerals. From the 1970 oil boom era in the country to date, heavy reliance is on oil revenue, and with the fluctuation of oil prices and a subsequent sharp decline in the world oil price in the recent periods, it is obvious that overdependence on oil as major source of revenue could fail the country as it could not finance the budget as usual.
Nigerian economy, we can say it's poor and in dire straits, particularly at a time like this, given the circumstances of the social circumstances and the health circumstances, particularly the pandemic, the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic that shut down the globe, the entire world economies and everything. And Nigeria cannot be exempted and wasn't exempted from that. So it affected every nation. And that has a major impact on the performance of the economy. And then came the EndSARS protests. That further exacerbated the problems of the economy. So the economy that was being patched up to recover from the pandemic suffered another setback because of the shutdown during the protest, the EndSARS protests. But all those are added to the situation the economy was already in, which was poor in the first place and struggling. We have a struggling economy that has suffered a lot of calamities over the years due to bad financial management, fiscal management. As you are well aware and the public is well aware, our foreign exchange rate has been dwindling, making it difficult for us to import production equipment. So their ability to now produce has been made even much more difficult because of the high exchange rate. And when that is the situation, then it becomes difficult to be able to produce enough to even export. Already we are, as it is, a consumer society, a consumer economy. And that is what we actually do need to change. We have to turn that whole situation around so that we can be a production economy. Most of the things that we import today are things that we are ordinarily should be able to manufacture ourselves to reduce our import load. And if we are able to do that, then we can turn our narrative around, our economic narrative around, and begin to make progress. Okay. So if we are going to prosper as a nation, There are a whole lot of things that we need to do. But I will say this, more than anything else, it is the sincerity of our leaders that is the problem. We have very brilliant leaders. We have brilliant Nigerians, both at home and in the diaspora, professors, well qualified. We have Nigerians who can even run an American economy, even the Chinese economy. But if they are not sincere with themselves, if they are not sincere with the people, then no progress can actually be made. We believe that we need men and women of integrity, men and women who are patriotic, who really understand that a pervasive prosperity, a ubiquitous prosperity that affects everybody, that impacts everybody, is the one that will also prosper them. But when in myopia, they only consider their immediate benefits, then it is difficult to put programs and policies in place that can actually bring about development.
There have been too much concentration in the oil sector, where you even say now that any little thing, the price of petroleum products are increased in order to cushion the budget or to make up for some expenses. See, there are nations in the world today that are not even oil blessed like Nigeria, but those countries are still doing better in terms of the economy than Nigeria. And what we also get to know is that the Nigerian government states, our leaders, they have neglected many things, the area at which they have to pay attention. I'm happy maybe of recent that the agricultural part of the economy that little attention, I call it, say little attention have been to them now. If not so, we would have been now, that we even more than where we are. But see, to be honest with you, there are major things that prepare economy. In the world today, the class that prepare economy is the middle class. But in Nigeria, either you are very poor or you are very rich. So, and again, the private sector have a lot of role to play in nation building. Those days in Nigeria, if you are a civil servant, people look at you and say, no, I cannot be a civil servant. I want to be a businessman. I want to be privately employed. But today, for those people who are working with the private sector, they even believe as if they don't have a job. So, my advice to the nation is that the government themselves, they have to make the population have value for the private sector. Because if everybody in every Nigerian say they want to work in NNPC, they want to work in FRS, they want to work in those banks, how many of these vacancies, how many of these spaces that are available that will take care of the population of about almost 240 million people as we of Nigerians? So, in order for the nation to go forward, the government had to come down to make provision for the ordinary persons to be trained, to be employed, to be self-employed. So that is the only way we can build our nation.
The Nigerian economy in the last few years has been going through some turbulence. A country that recorded an average GDP growth of 6.5%, one of the highest in the world, less than a decade ago, was projected to grow at about 2.3% in 2016. Nigeria's economy is experiencing total collapse, and steps need to be taken to ensure its recovery.
When we are looking at the Nigeria economic challenges, let us first of all look at the Nigeria economy. What is the economy like? Then before we talk about what are the challenges. So the economy is actually the life wire of a nation, where the resources of a nation is like we want to say stored, and from there government plans. So there's no nation without an economy. We have challenges, yes, like in every nation of the world. We all have various challenges But the Nigerian economic challenge must be seen from our own peculiar problem, because we are operating an economy that is what we will call a monoproduct economy. A monoproduct economy is that economic system where the nation's resources are pulled only from a source. Although there is no nation in the world where you have this kind of it, but there is this teething problem of leaning heavily on the oil sector, whereas in most other nations of the world, apart from the oil, there are other sectors that help to grow the economy, like the agric, you have the mining, you have trade. But if we are looking at the Nigerian economy, we are majorly centering on oil, or the gains from the oil production. Because we plan our budget heavily, over 50% of the budget leans heavily on the oil. Then other sectors will share the other 50. Agric, for example, they are supposed to be Nigerian mainstay of the economy, accounts for just about 20% of the GDP for which the country plans its system.
Nigerians are becoming more impoverished by the day. The endemic cause is corruption. Corruption and a predetermined mindset not to make things work. It is not as if we cannot make it work. There are certain persons in power who does not want to make it work. They are often called RGP, any government in power. You find them at the corridors of power. They are benefiting from the corruption. Can you imagine that right from the 70s, when the Nigerian economy was based only on giving out raw materials, we never engaged ourselves in any finished products. When agriculture was the mainstay of the economy of this country, though oil was there, but agriculture was the mainstay in the 70s. Now you could take timber out of this country and you import back paper, toothpick, other materials that can use wood to make finished product. You take cocoa, you bring chocolate, Bonvita, other materials that can use cocoa to make. You take rubber, you bring tires, tube from other countries. We never engage in any finished product. So they did that as more then oil was discovered in large quantities. They abandoned agriculture, went into oil. Now you take oil in crude form, take it out of the country to go and refine. You will not refine yourself. You bring back petrol, diesel, Vaseline, engine oil, other byproducts from crude oil. You buy it back, and at prices that are being dictated by those from whom you are importing it. So you are never engaged in exportation to engage in foreign exchange. So many people are benefiting from this process, of taking the crude out, refining, and selling it back to us. So there has to be a rethink. We will rejig the system, whereby persons are kind of benefit from these corrupt practices in such a way that they are sabotaging the economy. It's a deliberate attitude. It's not as if we cannot fix it. Nigeria is a country so blessed with so much natural resources: limestone, iron ore, gold, crude oil, name it. To fix roads, can you imagine the bag of cement now is 3,500 naira? A country that have limestone, which I believe is one of the byproducts used to produce material used to produce cement. So how can we have cement for 3,500? Where is the housing for our people? So we have the resources, we have the manpower, the teeming unemployed youth who could be engaged in these industries if set up. But our people believe in pilfering. They give you power, you steal. You take it out there and save in foreign accounts of foreign countries. They use that money to develop the country. You buy it, product back. Sometimes you even forget the code, the secret code. You can find Abacha loot as we speak. Several years, they are still taking back Abacha loot. One person. What about other people that have not been mentioned, who are not late yet? Because they are yet alive, you will not touch them. Touch not my anointed. So they are anointed in corruption, so we cannot touch them. So they remain there. The monies are being taken out there. Our country is being bastardized. Whereas we have in our constitution Chapter 2, which is the directive principle, fundamental objective and directive principle of state policy, which provides for how the country should run. That the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of governance. So every person in government, they should ensure that the reason why they are there is the welfare for our people.
Corruption has eaten deep into the fabrics of the nation, which is seen as a threat to the survival of the economy. Over-reliance on oil is one of the problems the country is facing today. Over the years, little attention has been given to the development of the non-oil sector. A significant drop in oil prices has depleted the revenue earnings, and the effect is visible to all. Little money for the government to spend and undue pressure on the available foreign exchange, as the country heavily dependent on imports. Unemployment is a great and pervasive problem in Nigeria, but it must be made clear that it is not peculiar to Nigeria. All over the world, there are growing issues of unemployment. The fact is that the government can achieve a remarkable success in this regard if it declares an emergency on unemployment and tackle it decisively, with the organized private sector contributing greatly in this area.
We discovered that the major causes of economic challenge we are currently facing. One, ineffective leadership and corruption, because the leaders, they are really not been able to bring out a clear policy. There's no sound government economic policy right now, and the economy team need to be revisited to bring in people who are experienced in economic activities, affairs, to be able to deal with the situation. And that apart, we talk about corruption. I said ineffective leadership, corruption. That is the first thing. Corruption too is there, and the cost of governance is very high. It's extremely high now. What I mean by cost of governance, the budget, the amount they are spending on the executive and the legislature. Nigerian legislature, they are the highest paid in the world. The amount they are paid. And in the House of Rep, over 300 members. In Senate, 109. And they are, if you hear their salary, average of 30 million per month. So, and you now multiply it by the number of lawmakers. The number is too high. So the cost of running the government is too high, and this affects the economy generally.
We are aware that Nigeria is the giant of Africa, but today it's no longer so. Why? The economy of Nigeria is not to write home about. At least, if I may say, we get it wrong, or we mixed it years back. Right from the day NEPA took over power from ECN. By then, when ECN was in charge of power station, before they will take the light, or before they will take the light, they will announce to the public, within so period of time, we are going to work on this particular area. So we are going to off the light. But today, it's no longer so. Even then, like the government, they do patronize the Peugeot product. The France, we are assembling their cars here. All those things boost the economy of the nation, give employment, steady power supply. But today, it's no longer what? So. And if you also look at it very well, the day Nigeria begin to depend on what? Oil. That is where we have the major problem. The moment they not depend on oil, they find that they discover oil, they not solely depend on oil. They forget about what? Agricultural sector. No more rubber, no more timber, no more palm oil. All is what? Oil, quick money. Because of that quick money, corruption crept in. Nobody is willing to work. That labor is no longer there because oil money is there. Just go there and fetch the money. Look at the highest building we have in a deformed bed estate. What is the name of that building? We call it what? Palm House. What do they use to build that money? The money is from what? Palm oil money. That's why we call it Palm House. But today, I have not seen a skyscraper, maybe 50-story building, 100-story building, built with what? Oil money. It's not there. So we have to think back where we actually get it wrong. We need to go back to what? Agricultural sector. Work on it. Because if I look at this, our present day government, they have missed it in so many ways. Why? Because they depend solely on what? Oil. Everything, if you look at their budget, they target with what? Oil. There are countries that don't even have oil. But some of them depend on what? Tourism. Some depend on what? Agriculture. But Nigeria is blessed with tourism, agriculture, in all facets of what? Life. In all walks of life, Nigeria is well blessed. But we have problem. The problem is leadership, corruption. That is the problem we are having.
Nigeria is presently faced with a lot of security challenges such as kidnapping, farmers and herdsmen clashes, Boko Haram insurgency, robbery and even road accidents as a result of bad road. All these do not encourage investors coming into the country to invest. Inadequate power supply and infrastructural decay in Nigeria is also an issue. The Nigerian power sector has been struggling to survive over the years. Domestic production suffers in these conditions, but many foreign companies also find it difficult to conduct business in Nigeria because of insufficient power supply. This problem keeps Nigeria a third world country from year to year. Inadequate health facilities is also regarded as a problem in the country. A healthier Nigeria will be a wealthier Nigeria. For those who do access healthcare, it's expensive. According to the World Bank, roughly 750 out of 1,000 naira spent on health in Nigeria comes directly from Nigerians. Compare this to smaller economies in the poorer African countries like Kenya, Ghana, and Tanzania, where citizens spend roughly 250 out of 1,000 naira on health, especially for those without extra naira to spend. These high costs mean foregoing. Oftentimes, people neither won't seek treatment or are forced to sell belongings or other essentials like food for their family, feeding into the cycle of poverty and poor health. Development of both private sector and small businesses is a key to create a good condition for economic growth and also tackle the problems of unemployment in Nigeria.
First is the insincerity of the government. One, they will say they are giving loan. Whether it is the middlemen or the government officials themselves that take this loan, we don't know. The loan is not getting to the farmers. That is one. Two is the climate change we are now experiencing. It hinders the progress of our product. You will see next year there will be trouble because the agricultural products did do well this year because of the climate change. But those who really need this loan need it at the right time. That is February to March, because by April or late March they will start planting. Where you don't give that loan and they don't have money, you expect them to go and brush the bush and plant what? You are not even giving them seedling. So the government should first start with the local farmers. Let them have access to these loans and at the right time.
As far as this country is concerned, years back, as at 1961, 62, 63, in this country, we have investors in this country. We produce things in this country, but for now, you can see because of insecurity, there's no investors in this country. Nobody's ready to invest. Number one, insecurity. Number two, electricity. If those two things be put up in this country and investors came into this country, you can see that Nigeria economy will rise and it will no longer fall down again. So we should try to place on ground a very well secured country
for our future, so that as the economy is falling now, if we continue like this, Nigeria cannot make anything in the next 20 years' time. Nigeria is a country that is blessed with so many mineral resources, but in this country we are only facing the oil. We have cocoa, we have rubbers, so we have other things in this country we can use and produce the things which can rise the economies of this country. But the government always focus on oil sector. So I should advise the government of the day to go back to rubber, palm oil, and so other things in this country which we can also rely on. So we should not rely on only oil alone. That cannot help this country.
Almost everything go up. The whole business, the whole goods. Sometimes you buy some things, then when you come back, you say it normal. If you want to buy again, the thing have already increased. So that is, it affects the whole business, it affects everything. The government should at least support all this, our business. If it's a kind of loan or grant, at least not only from the federal government, but from the state government. At least state government should, once in a while, support those small business, help them out with grants or sometimes loan.
We can recover from the current economic crisis if government diversifies the economy and repairs the refineries so that the impact of the unstable crude oil prices, which is having a toll on the economy, will be cushioned. Improvements on housing and home ownership for Nigerians is also quite important because many poor Nigerians have to go for many years without a mortgage plan, and this is hurting the economy. And provision of adequate security will build confidence in the mind of investors and even tourists that want to invest in the country. Caroline Okunji on Special Report.